Welcome to Jazz with Frankye, featuring international and local jazz and blues artists. And here's your host, Frankye Kelly.
The night is young, you and I are free. Baby, come and make sweet love to me.
I played cards. I could never beat him playing chess.
Wow.
But he was one of the most beautiful human beings I've ever met in my life. And sweetheart to work for.
Yeah.
But the reason I quit him was because he didn't have no health insurance.
Oh, okay. You have to have health insurance.
I said, I'm out here putting my life on the line for you. You ain't got me insured. I said, if something happened to my hand and I lose a friend, I'm done.
Yeah.
Well, I said, that's all right. You ain't getting enough money? I said, no. When I put my nose in it. He said, what you want? I said, so and so and so and so. He said, you got it. I said, no, Ray, it ain't got the money. Some other things I want to do. He said, I understand, Joe. He said, anything I can do to help you, just come.
Wow.
And
Ray
that's how it
Charles.
was, you know.
Ray Charles.
And then after working with Ray, I said, I want to do an album. And so we used to go over to Larry Gale's bass player to play with Mark. He moved from New York to LA. He opened up a coffee house after hours.
Okay.
And that was the watering hole. We didn't go till 2 in the morning.
Wow.
Because that's when all the clubs
All the clubs closed and
And
everybody
all the
come.
musicians used to congregate on 42nd right off of Prince in the Murray Park. And that's where I met Gene Russell, who said he was going to start a record company, Black Jazz Records. That was the beginning of it.
You met who?
Gene Russell.
Gene Russell. Wow.
And I did my first album for Black Jazz Records, which is called Shani.
Okay.
And Shanique was my baby niece. My daughter had her. My sister had her. Daughter when she was 16.
Okay.
And I tried to capture the beauty of bringing a newborn baby into the household. I wrote this too.
Wow.
And that's the record that's being reissued just in the last couple of months.
Okay.
The first album I did on Black Jazz, Shani.
Well, you know something? I want people to hear and see a little bit more of you. You think that's all right?
Of course.
Okay.
Show them all they need to see.
All right. You are a living legend, Mr. Calvin Keys.
Thank you, darling. I'm with a legend.
I'm not
Frankye Kelly.
I'm Floyd Pellom, owner of 57th Street Gallery. You're watching Jazz with Frankye Kelly. We have Calvin Keys and a house band here tonight. It's Monday night blues jam session. Monday night jam session here every Monday night. Calvin Keys, Khalil Saheed, Melvin Butts, Glenn Pearson, Leon Joyce, and a host of other musicians come through here all the time. Never know who comes in here. Everyone's welcome. Come on by. 5701 Telegraph. Thank you.
done so many things in your life. It's just such an honor to be in your presence and to talk to you and hear all this good stuff. You know, so when you left, I'm just telling you the truth. I'm telling you the truth. So you left, so you made your first recording, and what did you do after that?
Well, excuse me, as I was saying, you know, I did the album, got that out of the way. Now I'm getting antsy again. You know, working with Greg in the big band was beautiful, traveling and all of that, but I still had another germ in me was moving around. And that germ was I wanted to get a rhythm section.
Yeah.
You know, a real rhythm section. And I had no idea it would be the Marjamal Trio.
Oh.
I was in the pool hall in South Central, playing a game of one pocket. My phone rang a couple of times, and it was the partner I had, Barbara Cake. I called her at the house, and she said, Amaz Marlon called here 3 times for you. He's got a gig. He's starting the night up at the Troubadour on San Marco Boulevard, and we want you to join if you're interested. I said, cool.
That's great.
I rushed home, called him. He said, yeah, Cap, can you get here by 9:30? I said, sure. So I get there at 9 o'clock. And we go upstairs to the dressing room. He pulls out some music, and we run over a few things. And he said, Cap, he said, you read that good? I said, not really. But I know all your music because I'm a fan of yours. My whole family's been a fan of yours for years.
Yeah, he's a wonderful man.
My aunts and uncles grew up with your music. And he says, have you met me before? I said, well, indirectly. He says, well, I said, you was working in a club in Denver called the Red Empress. And I walked up to you and asked you, could I sit in? And he said, you know, I remember a guitar player. I said, that was me.
Oh, wow.
He said, really? He said, how long ago? I said, about 10 years ago.
Wow.
He said, I think I remember. I said, but it was a time.
Everything happens
I
in
said, the
time.
time is now. He said, I worked with him out for 2 weeks.
Okay.
And because Houses, James, and Smith was a group, there was an opening act for him.
Okay.
And we worked for 2 weeks, 2 of the most beautiful weeks I've ever had in my life,
Wow.
musically. And after that, he called me. He left and went back to New York. I might have called me once a week for the next 3 months.
Wow.
And I said, you sounding facetious. You keep asking me if I'm going back out with Ray because you know I'm broke and I need the money. I said, now when you gonna hire me?
Quit calling, hire me.
And he said, you kind of persistent too, aren't you, Keith? I said, well, you know, I need a gig, man. And so a couple of weeks later, he called. He said, Cal, I said, yes, sir. He said, well, go to United, it's a ticket there.
All right.
I said, is it one way or round trip? He said, it's one way. I said, okay. He said, I'll have somebody meet you at the airport, and if I don't meet you, I'll have somebody there. I said, okay. And that was the beginning of our relationship.
Wow.
And that was in 1973. And I was going through some things in Los Angeles with my partner, and it was getting really shallow.
Oh, my.
So I decided that we had to separate.
Yeah.
And the way we did it was so unhuman. Like I had to leave the city because I was getting ready to commit murder.
Oh no. Yeah.
I wrote a song called "Why Don't You Say Yes Sometimes," and that was because she said no all the time.
Oh my.
But anyway, so I decided to move to Palo Alto because I had met a young lady in New York that I got to be very good friends with at the Waldorf where we were. So I just continued that relationship. And so I moved up with her for a few years. And her uncle started Budget Rental Car. And they had a house in Hollywood where they invited me out to dinner. And the house was Greta Garbo's.
Greta Garbo's house? Oh my gosh.
So I felt real good. And in the meantime, Kristen and I had a nice relationship, so I moved to Cali after with her.
Okay.
And that subsided, and I ended up coming on in Oakland, which I was coming anyway.
Back to Oakland.
That's right. And so I started traveling with mine, but I found me an apartment in Oakland down in Harrison.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I got here. So I traveled with him for the next 6 or 7 years.
Yeah, okay.
And after I cut ties with mine, I got tired of traveling.
Mm-hmm.
I came back to Oakland and started building my rep here locally.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a quartet down at Barclay Jacks.
Okay.
On the Embarcadero.
Yeah.
Dick Whittington, Big Ed Williams, Bob Gray on drums and myself.
Oh my God.
And I worked 2 nights, Wednesdays and Thursdays.
Wow. Ed Williams. My name is Ed.
Mm-hmm.
Ed Williams. He always said Ed. Ed Williams.
And Father Hines came in one evening.
Earl Father Hines.
Earl Father Hines came in and heard from me. And I was introduced to him through somebody. That was a Wednesday. Thursday night he came back.
Wow.
And the waitress brought me a note, said, Mr. Keys, when you take a break, Mr. Hines would like to buy you a drink. So I goes over to the table, and I said, Mr. Hines, I see you back again. You must have heard something. And he smiled. He said, Cal, you know, the reason I'm back here is because you play that guitar like I used to play guitar. I said, Father Hogan. I said,
isn't that something?
That is one of the greatest compliments I ever had.
Yeah, I bet.
And he says, that group you got? I said, yeah. He said, can you get a group like that together for me? He said, first of all, I want you to be my musical director. Is that possible?
Wow.
I said, I'll be honored. He said, I want you to give me a group like that you got. I said, okay. He said, here's my number. You come by and see me tomorrow. So I went over to his house, the 1200 Lakeshore, on the 26th floor. And that was the beginning of our relationship. I ended up getting Eddie Moore on drums, Hadley Calhoun on tenor. And he had Raphael on bass already.
Okay.
And him and myself, and that was Father's quintet.
Wow. And Raphael.
And he said he needed,
Yeah.
he got shot. Police shot him with his son loaded with car.
Yeah.
But he says, I also need a vocalist. I said, does it make a difference if it's a man or a female? He said, no. So they could sing. I said, okay. So I called Buddy Connors.
My mentor.
I said, tell him Buddy Connors, I got a job working for Father. I'm his musical director. We need a vocalist. You got eyes. He said, please. I said, okay, so I got him.
Love that guy.
We took him up to Father's house the next day. And so I said, I got somebody I want you to hear about. He said, okay. I took my axe out, played the intro of Mystic. He said, look at me. Father said, that's enough, that's enough. You hired.
Wow.
And that was the beginning of my relationship with him.
Well, you know something? I have to have another interview with you to do another Jazz with Frankye show in the future, not too distant future.
Right on.
But you know what I'd like to know right now is tell me about what music you have out. I know you've done lots of CDs, and from your first record back in the 70s, right?
Yes.
What's your most current CD? What should people be looking for?
My most current one is called Vertical Clearance.
Okay.
And it's on the Wide High record.
Okay.
And it's a few years old. I mean, you know when
Jazz doesn't get old.
I know.
You know that.
But I said record.
Yeah, okay.
I didn't say music.
Okay.
Now, you know when you go up under one of those bridges on the freeway, there's a big old sign that says vertical clearance.
Yeah.
So that means something.
Yeah, it does.
That means you got to be aware of the height, and so with certain ramifications for you to get up under there.
That's right,
You
and
to
not
the
get
next
stuck.
level. So that's what that vertical clearance is.
Wow.
This music that I
Wow.
wrote. And the first song on there is called Murder.
Okay,
It's
now
a
what's
rap.
that? What's that? What's Murder?
Murder is my wife, Maria.
Oh, she's so
Her
beautiful.
girlfriend is called her Murder.
Okay.
M.R. Maria Rosa Renoir Keys.
Yeah.
And so they came up with Murder.
Murder.
And I wrote this song called, this Latin thing, just for her.
Oh.
And so that's my latest.
Okay.
But last month we reissued the very first album I did on Black Jazz called
Yeah.
Shanique.
Yeah, you were saying
I
that.
ran into a gentleman who's got this record company called Thompson Square Records. And then he found this record at a yard sale in New York.
Wow.
And being in the record business, he bought it for $1.
Yeah.
So he took it home, put it on, and stood straight up. He said, damn, he said, I've been in the record business 20 years, and I ain't never heard of this cat. Now, I'm a little upset. He was upset. He started doing some research. And he said, then he ended up moving to San Francisco. When he got to San Francisco, he still searching to try to find me. He didn't know I was living in
Yeah, living in the Bay Area.
So he went to Craigslist. And James Hodges, who was the owner of Black Jazz Records, had put Black Jazz Records for sale on Craigslist.
Oh my.
And he seen it, so he got the number and called concerning in talking about Shanique.
Okay.
And so James gave him money.
Well, I'm glad that he did.
And he said, Calvin, I want to lease Shanique, but I will not do it unless you give me the okay. And he said, I'll talk about it. And we talked up on a nice deal. And I gave him a 5-year lease.
Well, let me tell you something. To be continued, Mr. Calvin Keynes.
All right.
To be continued.
Beautiful.
I'm so happy that you decided that you would let me interview you yet another time.
Of course. You got to spread it on.
Definitely do. And your website, what is your website?
CalvinKeys.com.
CalVin.
KEYS.com. One E, yes.
Okay, all right.
Now, you know, Oakland played a very big part in me developing my craft, my art. And that's why I'm living here, and I'm going to give something back to the community.
And you always do.
That's why I work with the kids and
You do all of that.
schools and try to spread this.
And talk to us and leave all of this legacy of yours to us.
Well, they said legacy. I still have some things I want to do.
Well, definitely, and you will.
And you know, that's why I'm over here at the 57th Street Gallery, because it is the new watering hole.
It is, and
all the
it is.
youngsters can
It
come
is.
here and
listen,
get some of this
and learn.
thing
That's
they
right.
want to learn.
That's right.
You know, because it's here.
That's
This
right.
is the closest to New York that they're going to get.
That's right.
And I'm proud to be a part of it.
That's right. Wow.
And because of you,
Mm.
you playing a big part. Because you have your own show. In that way, people will get a chance to understand what this art form is.
Yes, they will. And they'll
And
understand
they
it
will
to you.
know that it is one of the most powerful statements we can make.
That's
as
right.
humans.
That's right.
And everywhere this music has lit, they've never recovered.
They've not recovered. They wanted to take it and do something else with it, but yet it's still here. And so is Mr. Calvin Keynes. Thank you so
Thank you.
much for being here.
Thank you, Frank.
Okay.
My pleasure.
Love you
We'll
much.
continue.
Yes, we will.
Right on. Beautiful.
And I want everybody out there in TV land to join me next week for another Jazz with Frankye.